That's what you gotta do sometimes, Laker fans. Sometimes you just gotta come in with just a combo. You gotta go to the body. You guys know what I'm talking about? You gotta go to the body. You guys know what I'm talking about. Who was it that lost earlier today? Wasn't it Ryan Garcia? Didn't Ryan Garcia lose a little bit earlier? So Gervonta Davis that got him in the body. You got to go to the body sometimes. You got to get some body shots in, Laker fans. You guys know this. I appreciate you guys tuning in. Why am I winded? Why am I winded? I punched the air 7 times and I'm winded. Like I just ran 3.5 miles or something. Like I sprinted 3.5 miles. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show, Laker fans. Okay, so if it's the first time you guys have been here, post-game show after the post-game show, just finished post-game show number 1. This is post-game show number 2, exclusively for our YouTube people. If the first time you've been here and you have not subscribed to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. If you want to be a part of the chat, throw in your comments here. Obviously, open for business here on the super chats as well if you want to throw any super chats in. Okay. I got a lot that I want to get into. By the way, can I just start off the show with this? What is Dillon Brooks doing? Does somebody want to explain to me what the game plan or the strategy is for Dillon Brooks? For all those Laker fans booing Dillon Brooks over there across the street of crypto, you might as well start cheering him because he's helping the Los Angeles Lakers win this series, or at least win these first couple of games. That dude is not even that good of a basketball player, won't start running his mouth, and then gets a flagrant 2, gets brought into the free throw line. I don't know what the hell that guy's doing. I'll get into him a little bit later. Want to spend some time on the show. We'll talk about some individual performances. AD's comeback performance. Obviously how big Anthony Davis was in his bounce back game. The Lakers' first quarter. And then also I want to spend actually a little bit of time on Memphis the rest of the game because Memphis, I think, also can take away. They can convince themselves that, hey, guys, we started off this bad, but look at the way we ended the game. Maybe that could build them some momentum for game 4. I will talk about Dillon Brooks. I will talk about really just kind of the energy at crypto.com. So we're going to get into all that. I'll get into all of it. Okay, let's just right out the gate here. Let's see some of these comments. Playoff shadow boxing, Sliwa mode. I don't know why I was raising my arm up as if I already won the fight. Slee, we did an intro song Golden on shadow boxing for round 2. You're right. The only issue with that is anytime you play I got to basically find music that I can play for free on YouTube because anything else I play, let's just say YouTube won't be too crazy about it, too happy about it. Okay, so all right, let's end that right there. I got to edit one thing here real quick. Give me 2 seconds, Laker fans. 2 seconds here, and then we're ready to go. Okay, got it done. Okay, let's see what we got here. I want to read a couple of these comments, and then we're going to get going. Gervonta Davis, the body snatcher, RIP Ryan Garcia. Look, I knew what I was talking about. Listen, that was a big fight that was going on. I didn't get a chance to watch it because we had the Laker game, but I knew what was going on. Okay, let's start off with this. Dillon Brooks MVP. You're not kidding. I'm telling you, I don't know what this dude is doing, but not smart. I have no idea what he's doing. I saw Luke Kennard, one of his post-game comments was, yeah, we need the guy playing in this game. I'm sure he's bothering a lot of people within that same team or within his own team, but I'm not 100% sure what that game plan is. Okay, I'm going to get started. Let's get back on them. I'm going to get started about just giving just my overall thoughts on the game. I want to do that first. Let me give my overall thoughts on the game, and then I'll kind of get into some of these comments. Sleeman, not the guy you want to run into a dark alley. Tommy, let me tell you something. If you ran into me in a dark alley, I'm probably the first one running the other way. So definitely probably not the one to fear. I appreciate that. I appreciate, it gives me a little bit of confidence there. But I'm probably not walking into a dark alley. I'm going to have a big flashlight. Let's just say that. I'll have a large flashlight. You'll know that I'm there. Okay, let's get into the game here real quick. First off, let me just say this. So I tried explaining this before, but I'm going to explain it again. Tonight was the first night since 2013. We're in 2023. It's been 10 years since the Lakers had a full capacity, sold out crypto.com arena for a playoff game. It's been 10 years. The last time the Lakers had a sold out playoff game of 997 or whatever crypto.com, whatever they sell out, was 10 years ago. You might be asking, Alan, what the hell are you talking about? I'll tell you what I'm talking about. Remember the year that Kobe tore his Achilles? He tore it in the regular season. And the Lakers played the Spurs in the first round. They got swept in the first round by the San Antonio Spurs. Powell was obviously on that team. The last time the Lakers had a sold-out playoff game was 10 years ago, because after that, they went 6 years without making the playoffs. And then the year that they won the NBA championship, they had no playoff games. Everything was in Orlando. The following year, the Lakers played the Phoenix Suns here at Crypto in the first round. They lost that series, but remember, it was limited capacity because of COVID. So I think you could only have like 6,500 people, whatever it was, but it wasn't a sold-out playoff game. Last year, the Lakers didn't make the playoffs, and then this year, we had a play-in tournament, which doesn't count as the playoffs. This was an actual playoff game. The vibe in there was amazing. It was awesome. Like, there were a couple different times I found myself during the game kind of pausing for a second and just kind of looking around and soaking it in. It was loud as heck, especially when the Lakers start the game off 35-9, Laker fans. 35-9 was how the Lakers started this game. So right out the gate, from that perspective, it was so impressive to see what the Lakers did in those first 12 minutes. Some of that you want to credit to Memphis couldn't hit a shot. I do a report at the end of the first quarter. I'm not kidding when I say this. I think Memphis was shooting 13% from the field, and they were 1 of 13 from the three-point line. They were just dead awful. But I give some of that credit to the Lakers. Lakers scored 35 of their own, so that's obviously a high-scoring first quarter. They did everything, and they fed off that energy in that crowd, and it was so important to get off to a good start. So Lakers won the game in the first 12 minutes of the game. First 12 minutes of the game was over. Lakers had a 29-point lead against the Grizzlies. Memphis never led in this game, and oh, by the way, what the closest they got to was 10. Yeah, 10 in any game, or 12 or 13 was the closest that it got to. A couple times it got to maybe 13 or 12, and then Lakers would push it back up to 18. And then to get down to 13, Lakers would push it back up to 20. This was not a close game. But it's all because of what the Lakers were able to do in that first quarter. So that's how the Lakers kind of set the tone. Everything, the foundation was set in that first 12 minutes. So pregame, we get a chance to go listen to Lakers head coach Darvin Ham. And my question to coach was exactly that, was, hey, how important is it in these postseason games that you get off to a good start? Memphis did it in game 2, and they controlled the entire game. So even though the Lakers played better in the second half, and as the game progressed, they were down 20, came all the way down. They got it to within 6, but they were just down by too much. They weren't going to come back and win that game. And coach said, it's important, it's key, it's this. And it sounded like there was going to be an emphasis of getting off to a much better start. Lakers did it tonight. And, obviously this was kind of the foundation of the win, 35-9 at the end of that first quarter. All right, let me read a couple comments here before I get into some of the other stuff here. Let's see what we got here. Hoping we shoot better from outside next game. What did we end up shooting? From 3, we were awful. 7 of 28, 25%. Well, that's good news, by the way. It's good news that you had this much of a lead and you were up by this much the entire way, and you were still bad from 3, 25% from 3. They shot great from the field. Just their regular shots, 45, 46%. Memphis was only 37%. So I think it's actually a positive that they were able to be that bad from the perimeter from 3 and still win by as much as they did. Talk about Ja. I will do that. Don't worry. I'll get into Ja Morant. Still only 14 more shadow boxes left. You're not lying there, right? 2 down, 14 to go. I'm gonna come back on that one. I'm gonna go 2 down, 2 to go. I just want to get out of this series. I got a feeling this series is it's gonna be a tough series. It will. It's gonna be a tough series, no question about it. See what we got here. Slee, overall, thank you for the super chats, by the way, guys. I appreciate that. Slee, overall, good game. We need to win game 4. Dillon Brooks, he's not a good basketball player, wants to be famous. You got the point. So let me just say this. I'm okay with you want to get famous. That's fine. The game 4 thing I'll get to in a second. I'm okay. You want to get famous. That's fine. Problem is he's hurting his team. That's why I'm saying Laker fans, stop booing the guy, cheer him on, because he's not helping the Memphis Grizzlies. So it's one thing. Let me use Draymond Green as an example. Draymond Green he's got antics. He runs his mouth. He this, that. But when the game starts, Draymond Green is just such an important player for the Golden State Warriors, right? There's certain players that have run their mouth in the league. That's okay. That happens. But damn, I'm going to go back to Draymond. Draymond has been so important to the Golden State Warriors. He backs up everything he says. Dillon Brooks is just talking. I don't know what he's talking about. I really don't know what he's talking about. We need to win game 4. Okay, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about game 4 in a little bit. I don't want to get into game 4 yet, but I'm going to get into it because I think there is something to what you're talking about. I don't think game 4 is going to be anything like tonight was. I really don't. I think there's going to be more of that desperate Memphis Grizzlies team that we've seen, that we saw in game 2. I think it's going to be closer to that than anything else. All right, let's see what else we got here. Lakers active defensively. Absolutely they were. Rui fire. Rui's been fantastic. Rui looks comfortable too. Rui looks comfortable. Okay. All right. I want to see. All right. Let me get back to a couple other things I want to get into. Okay. So I kind of went into a little bit of the game, the flow of the game. Let me say this on the Memphis side real quick and Ja Morant side real quick. So I saw some people put up here. What was it? What did I see here about Ja? Anyways, a couple people want me to talk about Ja. I saw a couple comments that Ja had 45 and they still lost. So let me say this about Ja Morant real quick. He was questionable coming into the game. Did you guys look at Ja Morant's stat line? Let me just 13 to 26, played 42 minutes, hit 6 threes, 13 to 14 from the free throw line. Ja Morant had 45, 13, and 9 for the Memphis Grizzlies tonight. I thought he said something interesting. He was on post-game show number 1. We played part of his interview. And Ja basically said in post, he was talking about how basically from the first quarter on, Memphis won the game. They were plus 16 after the first quarter. Here's the problem. You have to include the first quarter because the Lakers were plus 26, which is why they ended up winning this game by 10. But Ja's point that he was trying to make was, okay, we're not going to have another first quarter like that. And if you look at the second quarter on, we played much better and, tried making it an interesting game. He's technically not wrong, but what didn't happen tonight was the Lakers didn't go up 29 and then won the game by 25 or won the game by 30, where it was just, people are hanging out in the fourth quarter and saying, yeah, why am I even still here? Memphis kind of just kept crawling back, which I think will actually give them some confidence going into game 4. I think they could, like I said, I think they can sell themselves on that. As far as Ja coming back and having that type of performance, here's a reality with the Memphis Grizzlies. Ja can give you 45, 13, and 9 like he did, which is unbelievable. Memphis cannot hang unless Jaren Jackson Jr. is getting you close to 20. Desmond Bane is getting you 20 to 25. Dillon Brooks isn't going 3 of 13 like he did with 7. He's got to get you close to 20 points. Give me another guy. Luke Kennard's got to get you close to 50 points. That's the only way they're going to win. They need 4 or 5 guys in double figures. And if they don't get that, then I think they're going to continue to have problems going forward. And give Ja credit, right? Ja was struggling. He was couldn't play obviously in Game 3, but he showed up. So the guy showed up, and he couldn't play in Game 2. The guy's a gamer. It's the best way that I can put it. If Ja has to score 45 triple-double and still lose, then we should win next game if he has a normal 30-point game. Again, I'm going to go back to this. I actually don't think the next game coming up against the Lakers, I don't think it's going to look like this. I think it's going to be a lot more competitive. Possible Brooks suspended for Game 4. I don't think so. I guess it could happen because this is the part that I guess why I'm so confused. The dude did nothing trying to make a play for the ball. I don't understand what his strategy was with that play. I guess I wouldn't be shocked if he got suspended because it's the NBA, but I'm going to lean towards no. I don't think he's going to get suspended. Let's see what we got here. Somebody thinks Dillon Brooks is going to get suspended. Bargain shopper just going right at Ja. She is not impressed with Ja Morant. Showed up, but still a loser. Jeez. Take it easy. I mean, man has a family here. That's pretty funny. All right, let's see what else we got here. You know what? Let's do – okay, I'm going to do this one. What do you guys want me to do, AD or D-Lo? AD, D-Lo. AD, D-Lo. First 1 to 5. We've done that before, by the way. I think I did it last game, and AD just dominated the conversation. So AD or D-Lo? And this is coming from Nemo. What's your take on D-Lo? Let's see what people want. D-Lo wins. D-Lo win? Yeah, D-Lo won. Okay, let's go. Let me go D'Angelo Russell real quick, and then we'll go from there. So personally, for me, I don't know. Just not that impressed with D'Angelo. He had 17 and 7 today, but he took 14 shots to get there. Couldn't hit a 3, 2 of 7. Had a couple. Listen, he throws a couple dimes where it looks good, and then he throws a couple passes or makes decisions where I'm like, D'Angelo, what are you doing? If I had, let me put it this way. I'm going to give you guys an example on this. I think D'Angelo can go off in any game, but I also am not 100% sure what I'm going to get from D'Angelo Russell. When I say go off, he'd go for 20, 22, something like that, or hit a couple big threes. But I'm not 100% sure what to get with D'Angelo Russell. I guess the question is this. Would you rather have a player like D'Lo that's still young, that still doesn't have, a ton of playoff experience under him, or do you wish you just had a steady point guard like a Mike Conley, someone like that, where it's like, all right, I know what I'm going to get. He's going to control the offense. He's going to be – and maybe that's kind of what Dennis Schroeder is for the Lakers. He's more of that. But D'Lo's a little all over the place for me. It's not enough. I'd like to see more consistency from him, and to be honest with you, I don't feel like I do. Yeah, I think some people agree with me. D'Lo needs to clean up his game, takes too many bad shots at times. Let's see what else we got here. All right. D'Lo had the highest plus minus. Let me look at it because I actually did not. Let me take a look at that real quick. What was this plus minus? Plus 13. It's true. Plus 13. All right, let's see. What else do people feel about D'Angelo Russell? Didn't like the L10 Crew 3. Should have a milk clock at the end. 100%. You could tell LeBron, too. His body language is like, what are you doing? Yeah, he's a little bit of that for me. I think D'Lo, there's times where I'm like, oh, okay, it's a good play, nice play. And then next thing you know, it's like D'Angelo does something like, D'Lo, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? All right, let's see what else we got here. I'm getting to Anthony Davis in a second, too. What is going on with people here? Beasley had a big plus minus. People just – I think Bargain Shopper created this. Now everyone's going after each other. Beasley's plus minus was 9, and he also had 0 points. So I see what you're doing there. A lot of people asking questions about the D'Angelo Russell D'Lo, does it look like the guy? D'Lo, does it look like the guy who wants a contract? Guy's gonna get a contract in the summer, but I don't know what that price is gonna be. You know what I mean? I really don't. And if the Lakers um, are going to keep him for the future, I think most likely because of the way the salary cap works, you can go over the cap if it's your own player. I think the Lakers will try to re-sign him, but they can do a sign and trade. I think a lot of it's just going to depend on how the rest of this playoffs go. Plus, you'd rather have a guy under contract and use that as a chip. If you end up not using that player down the road, you could at least, trade him. All right. Somebody say I'm appreciating him more on the defensive side. Let's see what else we got here. Okay. All right. Let me do this here real quick because I want to do Anthony Davis real quick. So this is a very, very typical Anthony Davis game. AD has a bad game in game 2. Really bad game. AD was awful. He was bad. 4 of 14 from the field. Only got to the free throw line 4 times. What do you have? 13 points, 15. I can't remember what he had. But AD didn't have a good game. Post-game show, he's like, yeah, I was bad. And I know I was bad. And I wish the game was tomorrow, but it's not tomorrow. AD tonight was sensational. 39 minutes of play, 31 points, 17 rebounds, 3 more block shots. He has 15 block shots so far in 3 games. 2 steals, 8 of 10 from the free throw line. Got to the free throw line 10 times. So Anthony Davis was fantastic. We didn't have to sit here and talk about Xavier Tillman having a better game than him. So AD did what he's supposed to do. Now, and I think Anthony Davis obviously understands this, but there's a certain vibe that AD brings that when that vibe is there, the chances of Lakers winning that game is much greater than if he's more I don't know, he's not demanding the ball or not as aggressive or not as involved. I think there's a correlation there of when Lakers win, what Anthony Davis looks like, than when Lakers are in a tight game or they lose a game, what Anthony Davis looks like. So it doesn't mean AD can't have a good game and the Lakers lose, but I think more times than not, you guys know what I'm talking about. AD plays well. There's a good chance that the Lakers have a much greater shot of winning that game. My question about Anthony Davis was not about game 3. My question is going to be Anthony Davis game 4. Let me do game 4 here for a quick second because I think game 4 is an interesting conversation, at least from my perspective. My perspective on this, AD dominated the Teddy Bears. I think Michael had that in the pregame show or something like that. I'll say this on Anthony, or I'll say this about game 4. Game 4 will not look like game 3. It just won't. And I'll tell you why it won't. This was the game for the Lakers to get, and they got it. They kind of had to have it. And they took care of business. And I mentioned how long it's been since there's been a home playoff game here. And the Lakers wanted to perform in front of their crowd and their audience. And they did all that. Game 4 is going to be different for these reasons. Game 4 is going to be different because Memphis is going to understand, okay, guys, if we go down 3-1 to the Los Angeles Lakers, it's going to be really difficult to beat that team 3 games in a row. So the desperation that Memphis had in game 2, I think you're going to see that same desperation in game 4. Now, the question for the Lakers is, and they failed at this in game 2, was game 2 was kind of that chance of, okay, you guys are desperate. Cool. We don't care. We're trying to close out a series. You see, you guys are just in our way because we're going to get to round 2. The question is just how many games is it going to take against you to get to round 2? And the Lakers did not do that in game 2, and Memphis was able to tie up the series. The test for the Lakers is going to be, we're going to get arguably Memphis's best shot in game 4, because Memphis knows if they go back to Memphis, tied 2 apiece, and still 2 more games in Memphis, And the schedule is now starting to favor them because you're playing every other game. And I think it hurts the Lakers the longer this series goes, just because the chances of getting more and more tired as this series goes. Remember, Lakers had 4 days off before the playoffs started. Then they got 2 days off after game 1, 2 days off after game 2. Now, after game 3, you're going to get 1 day off. And the rest of the way, you're only going to get 1 day off. And it doesn't matter if you're playing in LA or in Memphis. Every single game, the rest of the way, you're getting 1 game off or 1 day off. So Memphis understands that this next game could probably determine the series. That if the Lakers win game 4, there's a really good chance they're going to win this series. If the Lakers lose game 4, okay, it's 2-2. And you're in now a real fight where, like I said, rest and your preparation is going to come more into play than it has so far in the series. The series has been to the Lakers' benefit so far with the rest. I don't think Memphis technically needed that rest. I mean, you could say, well, Ja Morant needed the rest because of his injury, but that's why I think Game 4 is going to be so critical, and that's why I think Game 4 you're going to see a much more desperate Memphis team. Now, if Lakers are able to come out again, and by the time the first quarter is done, you're up 10, you're up 7, you're up 8, you're kind of setting the tone, then that's a different conversation. But I do think you're probably going to get Memphis's best shot coming up in Game 4. That's how important I think Game 4 is for both of these teams. We are the better team. Okay. Exactly. Desperation. Gets his 20 shots. Seems like he's monster. And gets to the free throw line too. I would throw that in there too. I think getting to the free throw line is important as well. Lakers win a close one. By the way, that could very well be the game on Monday night. It could be no team jumps out, no team's up by 15 points or more. It's within 6 or 7 either way, and then it just comes down to, which teams executes best at the end. So that could easily happen. All right, David Sabatini, let's talk about Hachimura. Very solid game. He's been solid all series, not even the game. He had 29, he had 20, and he had 16 or 15 or 16 tonight. What do you have? He had 16 tonight. So what's he averaging? 20-ish, something like that so far. More than that, but 22-ish, whatever he's doing. Rui's been by far the best bench player this series and has been the best bench player of either team. It doesn't matter. He's been the best player coming off the bench for either team. So Rui's been excellent. No question about that. All right, see what else we got here. All right, let's do this here real quick. It's been a second here. Let's do some roll call. Laker fans, just let me know, where are you tuning in from? It could be the city, it could be the state, it could be the country. It doesn't matter. Wherever you're tuning in from, let me know, and we'll give out a shout out. I'm going to read this one here real quick from Maru. Are the Clippers done? Yes, they are done, but they're done for different reasons. They're done because their star players can't get in the lineup. I watched that game today. I watched the last, what are they, already 4 games in? It's 3-1. I watched pretty much every game that series. If just Kawhi was healthy, just Kawhi, I think the series is 2-2. And I don't think that's even a hesitation. I think it's 2-2. And I think Phoenix is in for an absolute dogfight. So to answer your question, I think the Clippers are done, but it's not the Clippers' fault. It's just they don't have their players. Dillon Brooks is our secret weapon. You might be right there. All right, Colorado Springs in the house. Thank you for tuning in. Texas, Anaheim, Seoul, London. Appreciate you all being a part of the show. Diamond Bar, Rochester, New York, Philippines, San Fernando Valley. Let's see what else we got here. Florida in the house. Appreciate you being a part of the show. Canada, Virginia, Pittsburgh, Arkansas, Riverside. Appreciate you all for being a part of the show. I don't know why I just yelled, right? Why did I just yell Riverside? All of a sudden, Riverside, the tone of my voice was a lot louder than everywhere else. My apologies there. Huntington Beach, thank you for being in the house. Surf City. One time I tried surfing. One time in high school, I tried surfing. Went out there. Wave came, and the board was in front of me and basically just hit me in the head. And then I just walked back over to the shore, took the the leash off of my ankle, and said that we'd call that a day. Thank you. I appreciate the ocean and the water talking to me, saying, Slee, why don't you get out of the water, buddy? The same for you. Jersey City in the house. Colton, California. Lakewood, appreciate you being a part of the show. Taipei, Taiwan, thank you for being a part of the show. Little Italy, Las Vegas. Kansas in the house. New York City. Iowa. Saudi Arabia, thank you for being a part of the show. All right, where am I here? Lot of comments here. Colorado Springs, thank you. Kansas City, Portland, Maine in the house. Laker fans everywhere. Good time to say subscribe to the channel, please. If you have not subscribed, hit subscribe real quick. Takes 2 seconds. Subscribe to the channel. Puerto Rico, New York City. Appreciate you being a part of the show. I don't even know where to go here. King Taco in the house. Someone's at Dillon Brooks' basement. Arkansas, thank you for being a part of the show. Peru, New Jersey. San Pedro in the house. All of you. Appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Okay, I'm going to get a headache here. Virgin Islands. Athens, Greece. Always with the invite, Athens, Greece. Nobody else throwing out some invites over there. I appreciate you guys being a part of the show. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, thank you. I can't keep up. I don't know what to tell you. I'm trying to keep up. I can't keep up. Marietta. Thank you. Dubai. Thank you. Okay. Okay. A couple other things I'm going to get into here, and then we're going to call it a night. So let's see here. What was the other one I wanted to get into? Okay, Dillon Brooks, we already did. We're done with that. Ja and the importance of Game 4, we're done with that. AD, I already got into. D-Lo, I handled. I took some time with. I think we've kind of covered everything, Laker fans. The only thing that I would say, like I mentioned a little bit earlier, I'm not expecting the same type of Game 4. Game 3 was, okay, Lakers were going to come home and they were going to do what they needed to do. I think Game 4, I think we got a dogfight the rest of the way. I think we got a dogfight in Game 4. Whatever happens after that, I have no idea. But I think I really, really think we have a dogfight coming our way for the next game. And the question is going to be, too, is let's see if there's going to be anything that comes with this Dillon Brooks stuff. If he's going to be suspended or if he's going to play. But that dude, just, I don't know what to tell you. Just not smart. I genuinely do not understand what that guy is doing. And he's only helping the Los Angeles Lakers. In my opinion, he's only helping the Lakers. Okay, so who do you predict wins? So I picked before the series started, I picked Lakers in 7. So I thought it was going to be a long series, but I did not know Ja Morant was going to miss a game. And I also did not know that Ja Morant was going to be injured. But then again, I didn't know Ja Morant was going to come into Game 3 and drop 45, 13, and 9. So maybe he's not injured anymore. I'm going to stick with my Game 7. Lakers win in 7. Who do you predict wins? I'm going to say Lakers in a very close game in Game 4. Very close. That they just kind of execute a little bit better at the end. They got better closers. They got more veterans, but a close game. Kind of have to have this one, to be honest with you. Because if the series is tied 2 apiece, if Memphis goes back to Memphis tied 2 apiece, you got a real chance of losing the series. Like I said, the games get a lot because there's less rest. I don't think that's an advantage for the Lakers. All right, Laker fans, I think we're good. I appreciate you guys all being a part of the show. I got nothing tomorrow. Taking a quick bird tomorrow. Flying out to Phoenix tomorrow morning early. Why am I flying out there? I'm going to catch a little Arizona Diamondbacks versus the San Diego Padres for a baseball game. And I'm going to fly back at night and get back to work on Monday. So that's where I'm going tomorrow. So I hope you guys have a good rest of your weekend. Hope you guys enjoy the NBA playoffs. We'll catch you guys on Monday night after the Lakers take on the Memphis Grizzlies for Game 4. So thank you, Lake fans. Appreciate it. Hope you guys have a good rest of your night, and we will see you guys on Monday. By the way, I'm still doing Lakers Talk's going to get moved. I won't do Lakers Talk on Monday. I'm going to end up doing Lakers Talk on Tuesday because of that. So thanks, Lake fans. Appreciate you guys tuning in. Have a good rest of your night.